Hello guys, welcome back to Mathematics. Today we are going to see how to find the mean of group data. But what do we mean with group data? So imagine you have this data here. It's about the age of a group of people, 30 people in total. You could find the mean by adding all of them and dividing by 30, right? But sometimes the group of data is so big that it's easier to organize them and group them. So just in order to give you an example, I'm going to do the same with this data. So I can organize them according with different intervals. Let's say the values that are bigger or equals to 10 and smaller than 15, I'm going to put it in the first group and I'm going to count how many of them we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the 7 that we can see here. And in the same way, I count the ones that are bigger or equals to 15 but smaller than 20, and I do the same with all the intervals. Notice that if you add all of them, you get 30, since there are 30 values in total. So this is what we call grouped data. Notice that it's very useful when the number of values is very big. But let's see how we would do it. So first, for each interval, we need to calculate a value that is going to be representative of the interval. So if the interval goes from 10 to 15, we could choose a number that is right in the middle. And what number is right in the middle of 10 and 15? 12.5. And we do the same for the different intervals. We are going to have this new column. And notice that this is the same as we take the 7 numbers between 10 and 15 and we replace them by 12.5. The next 6 values, we are going to replace it by 17.5. The same thing with the next one, 22.5, 27.5, and 32.5. So it's like they are not the values that we have anymore. They became these new values. So instead of having 32, 33, and 35, it's like we have the 32.5 3 times. So what I want to explain with this is that the mean for the group data is going to change a little bit because we don't have the same raw values anymore, but it's going to be very close to the actual mean. That's why it's so useful, because it's way easier to calculate and it's still very close to the actual mean. Now, since the elements that belong to the first group, they have the same value, we can just do a multiplication in order to add them. So we have 7 times the 12.5. So yes, guys, we are going to do a multiplication. So we are going to create another column here to save that multiplication. So notice that we have this new column here that is going to multiply the mid value, the representative of each interval, and this is the frequency. This is the same frequency that we have here. So this is just the multiplication 7 times 12.5. We are going to put the result here. Okay, let's move this table a little bit and start to calculate them. So 7 times 12.5 is 87.5. This one is 105, 135, 220, and 97.5. In the mean, we need to add all of them. So we usually do the sum of all the values. But in this case, since we have a representative and the frequency, we are going to do the multiplication. Frequency. So we are going to add all these values here, and that is 645. And remember, we are going to divide it by the number of data. In this case, it's going to be 30. So we could say that the mean is going to be equals to 21.5. So just for you to have an idea, if I didn't group the data, the mean would be 20.83, 3, etc. This would be adding the 30 values and dividing by 30. So this is the exact mean. And this is the mean when we group the data. Notice that they are pretty close. The difference is not very big. And this one was a little easier because we did the multiplications and we didn't have to add all of them. And sometimes for some studies, we actually have the values between 10 and 15, for example. We know that there are 7 people between those ages, but we don't have the ages of each individual. So in those cases, we also have to use this process to find the mean of group data. Okay, guys, this is your time to practice. Please try to find the mean of this group data. Pause the video, try to solve it by yourself, and then come back to check if your answer is correct. Let me know in the comments if you got the right answer. Okay, let's see. So first we need the value that is right in the middle. Between 100 and 140, we could add them together and divide it by 2 to find the one that is right in the middle. 100 plus 140 is 240. Divided by 2 is 120. And of course, is the number that is right in the middle of these two. Same thing with this one, 160, 200, 240, and 280. And then we multiply them by the frequency. 960, 1760, 3200, 720, and 1560. We add all of them together, so the addition of each value times its frequency divided by n is going to be equals to, the addition of all of these is 7200 divided by, in this case we are not given how many data we have, but since we have the frequencies we can just add them together and see how many values we have. 2 plus 8 is 10, 19 plus 11 is 30, so we have 40 values divided by 40. We can cancel these, then the mean, which is the same thing, the mean is going to be 180. Notice that also the mean is usually close to the values that are right in the middle of the table. So we could think that this is a correct value. Okay guys, that was all for this video. Don't forget to subscribe with your own lessons with me if you want, and let me any question that you have in the comment box. Bye bye guys, see you next time.